Have you ever wondered, in the galaxy of BTS, who truly shines the brightest when it comes to trophies, titles, and global recognition? In a group where every member is already a legend, where do we even begin to measure the most accomplished? Welcome to the countdown that breaks it all down, not by popularity, not by favoritism, but by sheer jaw-dropping, record-breaking achievements. This is not just about stage wins or fan-voted polls. We're diving deep into everything: international awards, solo milestones, record-setting streams, historical moments, cultural honors, philanthropy, global influence, and the kind of prestige that makes entire industries pause and clap. Now, imagine this: 7 boys from South Korea who once slept in the same cramped dorm room, eating ramyeon together just to save money, now standing on the world's biggest stages, breaking records that no Asian act ever dared to touch before. BTS didn't just win awards, they changed the rules. They didn't just break charts, they built new ones. And within this iconic group, some members have skyrocketed into solo universes of achievement that even the most decorated artists in the world look at in awe. But wait, before you assume you know who's at the top, think again. This list is full of surprises. Some members may seem quiet in the spotlight, but are monsters of recognition behind the scenes. Others, who are always in front of the camera, might not hold as many official records as you'd think. And then, there are those who've turned every breath, every project, every little interaction into gold, literally and figuratively. We're not here to judge with bias or fandom. We're here to celebrate real, factual milestones. Think Grammy nods, presidential awards, streaming numbers in the billions, philanthropic gestures that change real lives, fashion deals that rewrite the rules of luxury branding, even military accomplishments that make headlines around the globe. If you thought being a BTS member was already the peak, wait till you see how far some of them have gone on their own journeys. So, buckle up, grab your snacks, and get ready for a rollercoaster countdown that's emotional, shocking, inspiring, and unforgettable. This is not just a list. This is a story of sweat, tears, triumph, and the untouchable magic that is BTS. Who's the king of achievements? Who silently built an empire while we were distracted by the lights? And who sits on top of this mountain of prestige? Let's dive in. Number 7. J-Hope, the underrated legend. From the very beginning, Jungkook, better known to the world as J-Hope, has been the vibrant flame that lights up BTS's stage presence. But behind the sunshine, smiles, electrifying dance breaks, and wild energy, lies a man whose list of achievements is criminally underappreciated by the casual observer. If you think J-Hope is just the main dancer, you're about to be blown away. Let's talk facts. Let's talk legacy. Let's talk about a man who redefined what it means to be a soloist from a group as massive as BTS. When J-Hope dropped his debut mixtape, Hope World, in 2018, many thought it would simply be a fun project. But within days, he became the highest-charting Korean soloist on the Billboard 200 at the time, landing at number 38, a spot no other Korean rapper had touched back then. This wasn't just a mixtape. It was a cultural reset. With tracks like Daydream and Airplane, he opened a whole new sonic identity that mixed funk, pop, classic hip-hop, and introspective lyricism with his signature optimism. No dark vibes, no self-pity, just raw honesty and hope. In a sea of moody rappers, J-Hope stood out like a neon sign in the desert, but his achievements didn't stop at music. In 2022, J-Hope made history once again by becoming the first BTS member to headline a major US music festival, Lollapalooza. Think about that, a solo Korean act, taking over one of the biggest music festivals in America, with a full 70-minute set. It was loud, it was proud, and it was historic. Not only did he slay it on stage, but he also drew one of the biggest crowds in Lolla's history. Critics from Rolling Stone, Variety, Billboard, you name it, they all hailed his set as groundbreaking, stating that he was setting the standard for K-pop soloists. And while J-Hope is a global fashion icon in his own right, rocking Louis Vuitton runways, attending Paris Fashion Week with ease, and becoming a muse to designers worldwide, his philanthropy is what truly cements him as a legend. Over the years, J-Hope has quietly donated billions of won to child welfare, education, and disaster relief, both in Korea and internationally. He's a regular member of the Green Umbrella Children's Foundation Honor Society and is constantly giving, without ever making it a headline. Oh, and let's not forget he's also a Cultural Merit Medal recipient from the South Korean government, recognizing his impact on spreading Korean culture globally. Not many artists, even in K-pop, can say they've received one. J-Hope can. Military service? Yep, he enlisted with humility and grace in 2023 and earned high praise for his leadership during training. In fact, rumors circulated that even his commanders were impressed with his discipline, kindness, and physical capabilities. He may be one of the quieter ones during this chapter of service, but his presence is felt globally every single day. So why is he at number 7 then? Simple. J-Hope's success, while massive, is often overshadowed by the bombastic commercial impact of others in the group. His wins are more personal, more spiritual, and deeply rooted in artistry rather than just numbers. But make no mistake, his influence has created ripple effects across the industry, inspiring countless young dancers, rappers, and dreamers. J-Hope may not always be the loudest in the room, but his light reaches farther than most ever will. He's the backbone of BTS's energy, the architect of their dance, and a trailblazer for K-pop soloists on the global stage. Underestimate him, and you've missed the point of his entire existence. This is J-Hope, the underrated legend with a resume that could humble an entire award show. Number 6. RM, the genius behind the curtain. If BTS were a galaxy, RM would be its gravitational force pulling every member, every lyric, every dream into one orbit of unstoppable momentum. Namjoon isn't just the leader of BTS. He's the architect, the translator, the negotiator, the philosopher, and the global diplomat hiding beneath a ball cap and a hoodie. And while he might not be the flashiest member on stage, his list of achievements reads like a roadmap to cultural revolution. Let's break it down. RM is one of the youngest members in South Korean music history to own credits on over 230 songs, including almost every BTS hit you've ever cried to, danced to, or screamed the lyrics of at 3 a.m. That's right, RM isn't just rapping the lines. He's writing them, building them, living them. He co-wrote Spring Day. He co-wrote Fake Love. He sculpted Butter into the Billboard titan it became. Without RM, BTS wouldn't just sound different. They wouldn't be BTS. But his reach goes beyond music, way beyond. In 2018, RM stood before the United Nations General Assembly, delivering a speech that didn't just go viral, it changed the tone of how youth were being addressed on global platforms. With poised confidence and raw emotion, he told the world, "Speak yourself." That moment wasn't just a win for ARMY, it was a declaration to every young person who had ever felt invisible. And let's talk awards. RM has received Songwriter of the Year nominations, Asia Artist Awards, Melon Music Awards, and he's part of every major BTS group award, including their historic Billboard Music Award for Top Social Artist and IFPI Global Recording Artist of the Year. But his solo work? Oh, it's an ecosystem of its own. When Indigo, his full studio solo album, dropped in 2022, critics went wild, not because it was loud, but because it was intelligent, deeply philosophical, and unapologetically adult. Collaborating with artists like Erykah Badu, Anderson, Park, and Tableau from Epic High, RM proved that he wasn't here to ride trends, he was here to create timeless art. The album hit No. 3 on Billboard's top album sales and received universal acclaim for its vulnerability, storytelling, and production. It wasn't just an album, it was an intimate museum of his soul. Speaking of museums, have you seen what RM's done for Korean art and culture? He's quietly becoming one of South Korea's most impactful art patrons, donating to museums, restoring lost artifacts, and even helping to bring ancient Korean relics back home from abroad. In 2023, he was named an official cultural heritage ambassador, and art experts across the globe now recognize RM as a vital link between modern youth and classical Korean culture. That's not fan hype, that's history. RM's fashion influence, subtle but surgical. He may not chase headlines like some of his bandmates, but when he steps into Paris Fashion Week or rocks minimalist streetwear in a casual Instagram post, he instantly drives sales, trends, and conversation. He represents Bottega Veneta not just as a brand ambassador, but as a walking embodiment of its quiet luxury DNA. And of course, we can't skip his military service, which began in 2023. Even while away from the limelight, fans and military officials alike praise his leadership, his humility, and how seamlessly he transitioned into service without fanfare. He remains the thinking man's idol, constantly showing us that vulnerability and intelligence are not opposites, but soulmates. So why is RM at number 6? Because he's not just about flashy records or viral dances. RM is about foundation, about depth, about changing the narrative of what it means to be an idol. He might not scream his achievements, but the world is listening anyway. This man translated for BTS at the Grammys, spoke to heads of state, debated philosophy in interviews, and still made time to remind his fans that it's okay to be broken, lost, and searching. RM doesn't just carry trophies, he carries the weight of a generation. And he does it all with quiet grace and fierce intellect. A true genius behind the curtain. Number 5. V. The artful enigma with a global grip. If mystery had a name, it would be Kim Taehyung. Known worldwide as V, He's the kind of artist who walks into a room and immediately shifts the air not with volume, but with presence. He doesn't need to announce his arrival, he is the moment. From his deep baritone voice to his arresting visuals, from his offbeat sense of humor to his mind-bending fashion choices, V is the kind of phenomenon that both fans and critics struggle to define. Because how do you label someone who is the label? Let's talk achievements, because this man has racked up accolades like they're part of his morning routine. V holds one of the most impressive solo records in BTS, his self-composed track, Sweet Night, an OST for the drama I, Taiwan Class, hit #1 in 118 countries on iTunes, making it the most iTunes #1 second for any song by a solo K-pop artist at the time. Let that sink in. A soft indie OST, not backed by a flashy rollout, smashed global records just through the sheer power of V's emotional delivery. His voice? Warm like a fireplace, deep like a secret, comforting like a late-night drive. And fans around the world felt it in their bones. Then came Christmas Tree, another OST that dominated charts and won multiple accolades, further proving that V's solo power wasn't a fluke, it was a movement. But the game changer? Layover, V's first solo album released in 2023. A genre-defying blend of jazz, lo-fi, soul, and retro R&B. Layover was unlike anything any K-pop idol had ever dared to release. Produced in collaboration with Ador's Min Hee-jin, the album was a curated mood, not just a collection of songs. It debuted at #2 on Billboard's top album sales and #1 in over 65 countries, marking him as one of the most successful Korean soloists in history, and that was just his first try. Now let's move into his visual achievements, because V is quite literally the face of a generation. In countless global polls, Taehyung has ranked as the most handsome man in the world, year after year. Magazines, fashion houses, modeling agencies, all of them agree, his bone structure could start a religion, but he doesn't ride on looks alone. V's style has been praised by designers from Celine, Saint Laurent, to Cartier, and he officially joined Cartier as a brand ambassador in 2023. Making headlines in the fashion world for bringing a bold, refined masculinity to the brand's image. Even Vogue can't stop talking about him multiple times, naming him a fashion icon and game-changer for modern male beauty. And let's not forget his acting career. While it's been years since his debut role in Hwarang, the industry still talks about V's screen potential. Directors have publicly said they'd cast him in a heartbeat, and rumors continue to swirl about upcoming film and drama offers waiting for his military discharge. His screen charisma isn't just good, it's magnetic. Then there's his cultural influence. Taehyung is one of those rare artists whose personality alone sparks trends. The phrase Taehyung effect is real, whether it's the way he wears a scarf, the song he listens to on Instagram, or even a vintage film camera he uses, it sells out in minutes. Not because of sponsored promotions, but because fans genuinely trust his taste. He's curated, not manufactured. And speaking of trust, let's not ignore his philanthropy. V has quietly donated to child welfare programs, animal shelters, and music education initiatives. He's never loud about it, never posting selfies or writing press releases. He just gives. And fans follow. That's real leadership. Now, in 2023, V joined the military, and true to his nature, he made a quiet, yet powerful entrance. Not flashy, not dramatic, just respectful, poised, and strong. Recent reports suggest he's performing exceptionally well, earning praise for his endurance and discipline. Even in uniform, he radiates that silent charisma that fans call Taehyung magic. So, why is V at #5? Because he's not just a singer, not just a visual, not just a performer, he is a cultural shift. His achievements may not always scream from headlines, but their impact is undeniable. V has crafted a legacy that doesn't follow the rules it writes them. He's not climbing the mountain of success, he's building his own, one poetic step at a time. #4. Jimin, the global sweetheart who breaks records and hearts. He was the last member to join BTS, but today, he's often the first name that pops into people's heads when they talk about raw emotion, stunning performance, and global recognition. Park Jimin, the boy with the angelic smile and devastating stage presence, has transformed from a Busan teenager chasing dance dreams into a world-class icon who has shattered records, won prestigious awards, and redefined what it means to be both an artist and a cultural symbol. If you're still underestimating Jimin, buckle up. It's time for a wake-up call. Let's begin with the music, because Jimin's solo career has been nothing short of historic. In 2023, he released his first official solo album, Face, led by the track Like Crazy. What happened next? Global domination. Like Crazy debuted at #1 on the Billboard Hot 100, making Jimin the first Korean soloist in history to top the chart. Not only did he beat out massive Western artists that week, but he also did it with a deeply personal, synth-heavy track full of heartbreak and surrealism. No trendy TikTok gimmicks. Just Jimin being Jimin, emotional, theatrical, and bold. And the world listened. That wasn't all. Set Me Free PT 2, another track from the Face album, also debuted in the Billboard Top 30. Meanwhile, the album itself became one of the best-selling solo K-pop albums of all time, surpassing 1.4 million copies sold in less than a month. That number is not just impressive, it's insane for a debut solo album. And it doesn't even include the digital and streaming data, where Jimin reigns supreme with billions of streams across Spotify, YouTube, and Apple Music. No fluff, no filler, just pure impact. Let's talk about prestige. Jimin didn't just win awards, he made Daesang history. In 2024, while serving in the military, he was named Visa Fans' Choice of the Year at the Mama Awards, a top-tier daesang that made him the first and only soloist ever to receive it. Imagine that, winning one of the highest honors in Korean music without even promoting, all because of the massive love and respect fans worldwide have for him. That's not a popularity spike, that's legacy power. He was also ranked 7th on the 2024 Forbes Korea Power Celebrity 40, rubbing shoulders with the biggest names in Korean sports, business, and entertainment. But here's the twist. Jimin isn't just famous, he's respected. Whether it's his dedication to perfecting choreography down to the millimeter, or his relentless self-reflection and honesty in interviews, Jimin has carved out a space as a true artist, flawed, vulnerable, passionate, and real. And let's not forget his philanthropy, which is as heartfelt as his performances. In March 2025, while still on military duty, Jimin donated 100 million won to support firefighters in Gyeongbuk province, quietly stepping up to support real-life heroes. This wasn't his first donation, and it won't be his last. Over the years, he supported education initiatives, medical causes, and emergency response programs. Fans have even created entire donation projects in his name, because of how inspiring he is. Now, let's talk global fanbase. No one activates an international fan movement quite like Jimin. For his 30th birthday in October 2025, fans transformed Busan into Jimin Land. There were themed yachts sailing under fireworks, purple buses rolling through the city, and even burger sets distributed to Korean soldiers in honor of his service. That's the kind of fan dedication usually reserved for global political leaders, or royalty, not pop stars. But Jimin? He's both the prince and the protector in the eyes of his fans. And let's not ignore his fashion power. Jimin is now the global face of Dior, becoming the first Asian male ambassador for the brand on such a scale. His debut campaign crashed Dior's servers, literally. Everything he wore sold out in hours. Whether he's gracing magazine covers like Vogue or W Korea, walking into Paris Fashion Week, or just posting a simple selfie on Weverse, his influence is immediate, powerful, and international. Oh, and military service? Jimin entered in 2023 with grace and humility, and even in uniform, he remains a beloved figure. Army mates report that he's focused, strong, and deeply supportive of others, traits we've all seen in him for years, just now amplified by discipline and brotherhood. So, why is Jimin at number 4? Because he's not just successful, he's monumental. His achievements are emotional events, moments that shake the fanbase and leave a permanent mark on pop culture. Every time Jimin breathes, the world listens. Every time he moves, the world watches. He isn't just riding the BTS wave, he is the wave. Elegant, ferocious, compassionate, and explosive. The world's sweetheart, and a certified legend. Number 3, Jin, the unexpected powerhouse with a crown of firsts. He's known as worldwide handsome, the eldest young, the funny guy with dad jokes and dazzling visuals, but if you think Kim Seokjin's story stops at good looks and goofy charm, you're about to be blown away. Because behind that iconic smile is a man who, slowly and quietly, built one of the most powerful portfolios in BTS history. Yes, Jin is number 3, and his ranking isn't just deserved. It's earned with blood, sweat, silence, and a thunderstorm of achievements that snuck up on the world until it was too late to ignore him. Let's begin with the military service, because Jin didn't just go first, he went legendary. Enlisting in December 2022, Jin became the first BTS member to serve, instantly setting the tone for what it meant to be an idol and a soldier. But this wasn't a quiet enlistment. Within months, Jin shattered expectations by being appointed as a special class soldier and assistant drill instructor, a position few earn and even fewer deserve. Military insiders reported that he outperformed his peers in physical training, discipline, and leadership. Soldiers under his command? They idolize him. He's become a national symbol of duty, grace, and strength. The government itself used his service as a model for conscription PR. That's not PR spin, that's real-world respect. Now let's rewind to his pre-enlistment explosion. In October 2022, just weeks before going off the grid, Jin released The Astronaut, co-written with Coldplay. This wasn't just a collab. It was a cultural crossover of cosmic proportions. The song instantly topped iTunes in over 100 countries, debuted on the Billboard Hot 100, and racked up millions of streams in days. Jin performed it live with Coldplay in Argentina, in front of 60,000-plus screaming fans, an emotional farewell that left fans weeping, not just for the goodbye, but for the sheer power of that moment. Critics hailed it as the most emotionally potent live collaboration of the year, and Chris Martin, he called Jin a true artist with a heart like the stars. You can't buy praise like that. But let's zoom out and look at Jin's overall music career. Songs like Epiphany, Abyss, Moon, Tonight, and Super Tuna, yes, even that one, have become cult anthems in the BTS universe. Moon was ranked as one of the most loved songs by ARMY worldwide, and it's not just emotional, it's technically brilliant, showcasing Jin's often underrated vocal range and breath control. He may not scream for attention, but when Jin sings, people stop, listen, and feel. And awards? Oh, he's got them. Jin has picked up multiple solo accolades, including top-selling single certifications in Korea and Japan, solo charting records across Billboard, Gaon, and Oricon, and even recognition from environmental groups thanks to his participation in eco-friendly campaigns and animal protection causes. And speaking of causes, Jin is also one of the most active philanthropists in BTS, quietly donating to animal shelters, UNICEF, and child medical funds without media fanfare. Even when he donated 100 million won to animal rescue, he did it anonymously until the charity itself revealed the truth. And then there's the fashion storm. Jin's Gucci ambassadorship has become the stuff of luxury legend. In 2025, he became the global face of Gucci's Rebirth collection, outshining every other ambassador, yes, including global models and Hollywood stars. Campaigns featuring Jin broke Gucci's engagement records on Instagram and Weibo. Magazines like GQ, Dazed, and Esquire Korea practically fought for his cover shoots. And the public couldn't get enough. From double-breasted suits to embroidered bomber jackets, every item he wore sold out, instantly. But wait, we're not done. Jin was also invited to multiple government-level events as a representative of youth excellence, national culture, and military integrity. In fact, a 2025 report stated that Jin is now considered South Korea's most respected public figure among Gen Z military conscripts. That's not fan-voted. That's from national data. And what about the media? In 2025, Jin was named one of the top 10 most searched male celebrities in the US, outranking multiple Hollywood stars. American media can't get enough of his story, how a man went from singing ballads and making dad jokes to standing shoulder to shoulder with Coldplay, Gucci CEOs, and national defense commanders. He's been profiled in Time, Rolling Stone, CNN, and even the New York Times, not as that BTS guy, but as Kim Seokjin, the Renaissance man, the balance between humility and brilliance, humor and heroism. So why is Jin number 3? Because while others were making noise, Jin built an empire in silence. He didn't chase clout, he earned admiration. He didn't follow trends, he set them. He didn't just serve his fans, he served his country. His achievements are so layered, so multifaceted, that even now, the world is still catching up. From pop charts to military ranks, from haute couture to national headlines, Jin has proven that he's not just a pretty face or the funny hyung, he's a powerhouse of firsts, a symbol of dignity, and a legend in motion. And trust us, this story's just beginning. Number 2. Suga, the silent billionaire and cultural architect. You know that quiet guy in the corner of every group photo, the one who rarely smiles, always watching, always thinking? That's Min Yoongi, aka Suga, and while he might not be the loudest voice in BTS, he's arguably the most powerful one behind the curtain. Because when it comes to building real, generational influence through songwriting, producing, business, philanthropy, and solo artistry, Suga is on a level of his own. He's not just a rapper, not just a producer, he's an architect of K-pop's global sound, and number 2 on our list of BTS members with the most awards and achievements. Let's start with the numbers, because this man has a stat sheet so long it needs its own playlist. As of 2025, Suga has writing or producing credits on over 180 officially registered songs, including some of BTS's biggest hits, Boy with Luv, Spring Day, Fake Love, Dachwitter, Run BTS, and so many more. But here's where it gets wild, he's also written hits for other artists that top charts globally. Ever heard of IU's 8? Yep, that's Suga's work writing, producing, and even rapping on it. He's also crafted hits for Highs, Suran, Epic High, Psy, and even American artists who have requested his magic touch. The man's pen? Unstoppable. His producer tag should just be a mic drop. Then came August D, Suga's alter ego. Not just a stage name, but an entire identity, built on rage, truth, trauma, healing, and rebellion. When the August D mixtape dropped in 2016, it hit like an earthquake. Raw, unapologetic, and brutally honest, it tore down the idol image and rebuilt it from scratch. The follow-up, D2, released in 2020, hit Billboard 200 and became one of the highest-charting solo K-pop releases of the year. And D-Day, his 2023 studio album, was a monster. It debuted at No. 2 on Billboard 200, making it one of the best solo performances by any Asian artist. With this album, Suga became the only Korean soloist to land top 10 albums on the Billboard 200 under two different names, Suga and August D. And let's talk tour. In 2023, Suga became the first BTS member to embark on a full-scale global solo tour, hitting major cities across the US, Asia, and Europe. And he didn't just perform, he sold out. Every show, within minutes. Critics praised his setlist for being bold, emotionally rich, and sonically stunning. His stage presence? Hypnotic. Whether rapping alone on a dark stage or commanding pyrotechnics in a stadium, Suga proved he could carry an entire arena by himself effortlessly. Then there's the business side. While other idols partner with brands, Suga becomes the brand. In 2023, he became a global ambassador for Valentino, and unlike other celebrity endorsements, his campaign became a cultural moment. The Valentino Maison line featuring Suga sold out globally and was named Campaign of the Year by multiple fashion critics. He was also the face of NBA Korea, the first K-pop idol to officially collaborate with the National Basketball Association. In every photo, every appearance, Suga didn't just model, he owned the space. And don't forget the money. Quietly, and without much noise, Suga has become one of the wealthiest music producers in Korea. His royalty streams are massive, his investment portfolio is solid, and his revenue from solo work is climbing fast. Multiple financial outlets have referred to him as the silent billionaire of K-pop. And fans? They call him Min PD, a reference to his production dominance. In interviews, he casually talks about building a music label of his own someday, and no one doubts it. Not after everything he's already done. But the real core of Suga, his heart, he's been donating for years, often anonymously, from cancer hospitals for children, to disaster relief funds, to music education programs for underprivileged youth. Suga puts his money where his values are. On his birthday, fans follow his lead by launching global donation campaigns instead of flashy ads. And he doesn't ask for attention. In fact, he prefers none at all. When he enlisted in 2023, he entered as a social service worker due to past shoulder surgery, a decision that brought criticism from some, but admiration from most, especially when he used his platform to raise awareness about disability rights and mental health. Even in silence, he speaks volumes. So why is Suga number 2? Because he's not just checking boxes, he's redesigning them. From producing mega hits to mentoring future legends, from global tours to cultural collaborations, from military duty to philanthropy, Suga has proven that you don't have to be loud to be legendary. He is everywhere in the songs you love, in the movements you feel, in the history of BTS, and in the future of music itself. He's not chasing the spotlight, he is the power source behind it. And yet, somehow, number 1 is even bigger. Ready for the grand finale? Let's go. Number 1. Jungkook, the unstoppable golden maknae who took over the world. He was once the youngest trainee, standing shyly at the back of the dance room, unsure if he was good enough to debut. Fast forward a decade and Jungkook is now the most awarded, most streamed, and arguably the most powerful solo artist ever produced by BTS. This isn't just about trophies, this is about global conquest. From Seoul to Saudi Arabia, from Spotify to the Super Bowl, Jungkook has risen like a comet, and he's still flying higher. Number 1 on this list? Absolutely, and we're about to show you why. Let's start with the data that shook the industry. In 2023, Jungkook dropped 7 featuring Lato, a slick, sexy summer anthem that did more than just go viral. It debuted at number 1 on the Billboard Hot 100, number 1 on the Global 200, and number 1 on the Global XCal US chart. That made him the first Korean soloist in history to simultaneously top all 3 of Billboard's major charts. Not even global icons like Drake or Taylor Swift had pulled off that particular trifecta during the same week. Jungkook didn't just enter the game, he kicked the door down and made history. And that was just the beginning. The success of Seven was followed by 3D with Jack Harlow, and later, his full album Golden, a love letter to global pop, written in platinum ink. Golden didn't just chart, it dominated. It became the most streamed debut album by a Korean soloist in Spotify history, crossing 1 billion streams within months. Every track charted, every MV trended. Every radio station, whether in Tokyo or Toronto, put Jungkook in rotation. And then came the biggest endorsement of all. Jungkook became the first K-pop soloist in history to perform at the FIFA World Cup opening ceremony, watched live by over 1.5 billion people. That performance of Dreamers was a declaration. Jungkook wasn't just a Korean star anymore, he was a world icon. But let's zoom in closer. His achievements go deeper than just numbers. Jungkook's voice? It's a weapon, versatile, emotional, powerful. From the explosive belts of Euphoria, to the seductive whispers of Standing Next to You, to the clean falsettos in Still With You, he's shown a range and control that critics compare to Bruno Mars and Justin Timberlake. Every vocal coach who studies K-pop agrees. Jungkook's technique is not just gifted, it's disciplined, refined, world-class. And his influence on pop culture? Insane. The Jungkook effect is a real, measurable phenomenon. Whatever he wears sold out. Whatever he eats trending. Whatever song he covers it climbs charts again. When Jungkook did a casual live stream with his laundry drying in the background, 12 million people tuned in. That's more than the population of New York City. One live stream. One man. In a t-shirt. That's power. And now, let's talk brand deals. In 2023, Jungkook was officially named the global ambassador for Calvin Klein, and not just in name. He tripled Calvin Klein's social media engagement, caused their biggest website traffic spike in years, and pushed multiple collections to completely sell out in under 24 hours. Billboard called it the most effective celebrity partnership in the brand's recent history. He's also worked with Louis Vuitton, Samsung, Hyundai, and even NYC's Metropolitan Museum of Art. The boy who once danced barefoot in practice rooms is now one of the most bankable celebrity faces in fashion and tech. Awards? He's stacked. He's won MTV, EMAs, Billboard Music Awards, iHeartRadio Awards, People's Choice Awards, Mama Awards, Melon, Golden Disc, and countless more. In 2024 alone, he was crowned Global Artist of the Year in multiple international rankings. At this point, even award shows are adjusting their categories just to account for his cross-continental dominance. And don't forget the philanthropy. Jungkook has made generous, unpublicized donations to children's hospitals, animal shelters, and educational foundations. He's funded music programs in underdeveloped regions, paid for medical bills of anonymous fans in need, and supported youth mental health initiatives quietly because he doesn't believe in charity for the sake of press. And then came military service. Despite being the last to enlist in December 2025, his departure created a literal global media frenzy. Airports were jammed. News broadcasts halted schedules to show footage of him entering base. Fans around the world held candlelight vigils and global Purple Project events to honor him. Brands changed their logos to purple. Spotify launched a Golden Memories playlist. He didn't leave, he created a vacuum so big that entire industries paused. And yet, even from the barracks, Jungkook's voice echoes. His pre-recorded content continues to break records. His music still charts. His impact? Untouchable. So why is Jungkook number one? Because in a world full of stars, he became the sky. Not just because of talent, not just because of numbers, but because he is a once-in-a-generation phenomenon. He is the blueprint, the benchmark, the bar. And even when he's gone, the world still revolves around him. This is Jungkook. The youngest, the boldest, the golden maknae who turned gold into a global empire.